What's up? It's your boy D Change coming at you with another Daily Dave. It's Monday, March 23rd, 2020. This is day 8 question mark of quarantine or stay at home or shelter in place, whatever you want to call it. It's time for the COVID-19 update. There goes the banner. So we have a count of 2 COVID-19 positive individuals in my hometown. It's a small city, so I feel like that's kind of a big deal. One of the employees at my hospital that I work for has been tested positive for COVID-19 as well. So it's starting to hit a lot closer to home. They've been sent home. People that they've worked with / been around have been notified. Yeah, and like the CEO and the dean have released like a message about basically triage when it comes to how procedures can go. So yeah, I mean, our medical center is kind of gearing up for a sudden influx of patients. It's just I guess it's just a matter of when, not if, right? Not if, but when? Question mark. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Today's video that was making the rounds was something about like the applying the R naught of the flu. So like with influenza, the R naught is approximately 1.3. That means after 10 jumps or 3 to the magnet or 1.3 to the magnitude of 10, you infect 14 people. So yeah, after like one person passes it on, one person gets sick, they pass it on, that person passes it on, that person passes it on. You do this 10 times, you're supposed to get 14 total people sick. To put that into perspective, not sure if SARS-CoV-2 is at a true R naught of 3, but they're assuming that it's an R naught of 3. After 10 jumps, you get 59,000 people infected, or the exact number is 59,049. So it seems really crazy and scary, but I guess that's just that's the math, right? I don't know if we can say stuff like math doesn't lie, because there's that proof that 2 + 2 = 5, right? But yeah, I don't know, like, you know, it's like math put us on the moon. Math like predicts stuff in space, but then who knows if space is really real, right? It could be a flat earth, etc. But yeah, that just kind of puts things into perspective about how serious this could get. So I don't know, just again, I don't want to be super doom and gloom, but that's just one of those things that makes you realize, yeah, like what we're doing does make a difference, because as long as we minimize contact, we protect our communities, we can get through this without having to deal with way too much baggage. And then another thing I saw was like a Medium post about grocery stores being absolutely disgusting during this time. And I mean, I understand, because that's what, you know, grocery stores are where everyone is going now to like gather supplies. And I don't know how much you guys touch like vegetables and stuff. From what I've observed, like you gotta at least sample like firmness and like the feel of vegetables. So there's gonna be a lot of touching going on. Some people wear gloves, most people don't. I'm glad to see that masks are becoming more common now. Because when I was in Japan, everyone would wear masks during like flu season, and that was actually a good thing. There is evidence to support that multiple people wearing masks in a community helps prevent spread. And so, in a way, we were lied to about, hey, don't wear masks. It doesn't work. Sadly, the reason why we were told that was because our supplies are so low. So yeah, in this dire need, our healthcare professionals need the masks the most. They actually need the N95 respirator masks because they're treating people. But in general, um, in an ideal situation, if we were all to mask up, we would actually prevent, especially if we're asymptomatic, we would prevent spread a little bit better. And if we're actually symptomatic and we're sick with this disease, the droplets that you expel in coughing and sneezing would not be as big of a deal because the mask covers it. And then there's like extraneous things such as masks prevent you from touching your face, etc. That's one of those things that's where it's like I think it's hard to measure that efficacy. But overall, yeah. So what's really cool is I saw some videos before about like people in Hong Kong sewing up fabric masks, and then they can also give them to healthcare workers, and they can slip in the surgical masks to like add protection, because cloth technically only protects you for like 2 hours straight before it becomes like not good. But the good thing about having a cloth like bandana or cloth made mask is that you could go to the grocery store for an hour, half hour, go home, and then like this, not dispose of it but wash it, reuse it, right? So that's kind of the idea behind it, because surgical grade masks are supposed to be disposed of after they're used. You're not supposed to be reusing them, but sadly I'm hearing about healthcare workers needing to resort to that now. So that's the update on that, I think. Oh well, the grocery store article was basically saying you basically have to treat everything outside as super dirty, and then like when you come in you gotta sanitize. So it went like way beyond, I think, what most people would think of, which is like leave your shoes outside before you bring stuff in, wipe them down with bleach, take all your clothes off, take a shower, that type of thing. All I really do actually is I just make sure I don't touch too much stuff with the things I bring in, and then return like the reusable bags to my car, and then I wash my hands thoroughly. And I mean, I'm hoping that is enough. The good thing is, like, I don't know, at least my parents are generally healthy. But yeah, I can understand the higher need for precaution for like say any like a much more elderly grandparent or immunocompromised individual, stuff like that. So I mean, I even keep my distance from my parents, like in the house. Like the only time we're all together is when we're eating. And I guess technically we should be distancing during that time too, but I don't know, during times like these it's tough. I'm just hoping to minimize exposure by, us basically not going out to crowds, not going out to grocery stores too often, and yeah, just making sure we maintain hygiene. So that's that. Yeah, so in terms of like things I've been thinking about, I just had a good chat with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about kind of like creative projects and kind of like what to fill the void with these days, because now that a lot of us are shelter in place, we're working from home and we can't like go out and socialize and do all that as much anymore, or pretty much can't. It's like, hey, what are some things you've been thinking of doing to kind of like either keep busy or to scratch that creative itch? And especially for like as a future outlook, because we don't know how things will look, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now, when hopefully, the economy has recovered. But there are a lot of things that I'm listening to from different industries where there's a lot of criticism about what's happened, the response, how I guess how fragile everything has been, because at the drop of a hat, it seems like things have changed so greatly. Though to be fair, like especially if you're in a privileged position like I am, to kind of do this whole work from home and kind of just be like, hey, your job just transitions to a different location and you still have the same responsibilities, you just have to do it somewhere else. Like that's nice, But that's not the case for a lot of other people, because the restaurant industry is going to get hit really hard. And a lot of like in-person jobs, for basically the rest of 2020, just they're either running at limited capacity, or they're doing it at risk, or those jobs don't exist anymore. So that really made us think about how, like, how can we be the masters of our own destiny in a way, right? Because I've always thought about it. Like, apparently my mom told me like some time ago that, like, oh yeah, you always asked about your uncle's businesses and stuff like that, and I always knew you had an interest in business. And I'm just like, man, like, sometimes I'm like, why did you force me to go to school for whatever? It's not, I mean, in a way, it's like I had to figure it out myself too. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm like cut out for quote unquote business. I don't know. I've talked to some people who think that would be a good path to choose, and I've talked to other people who think that would not be a good path to choose. So there's that. But what I wanted to get at was, like, yeah, I've always thought about being, my own creator, or like being my own boss in some sort of way. That's why you got to join me in my MLM adventure. You just got to pay $500. No, just kidding. I still keep in touch with the person who tried to recruit me to an MLM. It's pretty funny because she'll text me and be like, oh, what's great is, like, now we can move all our presentations online. So, I can totally send you an invite, and just ignore just ignore the text. That's a story I haven't told. I should tell that story maybe another time, because I just wanted to wrap up with the fact that, like, we've been thinking about stuff like this, because yeah, I think we do have to be prepared for a fundamental change in how we earn money, or how we earn a living in general, or how we handle income in general, right? Because for the short term, a lot of people are seeing, like, retirement funds getting destroyed. If you had all your eggs in one basket, and that basket happened to be one of these heavily affected industries, I'm sure, you're not in the greatest place right now. So it's easier said than done. The whole, like, oh, don't put all your eggs, hedge your bets or whatever. It is difficult to kind of discern where that should be, what we should be doing in general, what fits our personalities, what fits our skill sets. But yeah, if you are in a position to really be able to think about stuff like that, I think now is a really good time to, like, evaluate stuff like that. So I know I am. Geez, like, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, let's just get through the day, and other times I'm like, man, how will this affect us, like, down the road, right? So I don't know, it's just a thought. That's just something that crawled into my mind. I want to call it an earworm, but it's not. It would be like a brain worm. But then that just sounds like my brain is rotting and I'm gonna die. So yeah. I think I'll keep it kind of a little bit shorter this time. This shorter is approximately 15 minutes. Amazing. So, but join me next time when I'm able to articulate my thoughts on Battle Royale games, or some other creative project that I want to be working on. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, to call a loved one, check up on someone, wash your hands with soap all over for more than 20 seconds. Cover your coughs and sneezes. And yeah, like, if you want to tell a boba, you want to video chat, I'm super down. I think we all could use some connection in these difficult times. So, don't be a stranger. Feel free to reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. And yeah, just be kind. All right, this was the Daily Dave. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one. Peace out.